on your favorite streaming platform. The Clean Fresh Sound. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, so we are back with you for another commentary section or segment on today's Activated Mornings program. All right, it's the 25th of September, 2024, and we are with you, and we comprises of Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza Samuel. All right. So again, as usual, just wishing everybody a good one today. All right, Kojo. Kojo, we even start the topic yet. Morning.
No, I want to go back by Mr. Weeks because when he's talking about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, when you go to the post office in Oakland here, you could say St. Vincent and the Grenadines as much as you want. The only thing coming up is the Grenadines. There's no St. Vincent and the Grenadines come up when you go to the post office.
Just the Grenadines?
You know what I mean? Just the Grenadines. There's no St. Vincent.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I think our country is the only country had the longest. Well, I mean, I think we have the longest name.
Yeah, we do actually.
I think we could use the longest anthem, the longest everything.
Well, that's a good thing. We stand out for something.
We stand alone out there. We stand alone. Our first flag that we had, it was only on one side too. So it was the first country to have a flag that only could be printed on one side. That's why they said that the Prime Minister, Mr. Mitchell, changed it. I'm only saying. Anyhow, Mr. Weeks forgot a part of that Grenadines thing too. The Prime Minister, Mr. Mitchell, there's a declaration still that is not being taken back that the Prime Minister, Mr. Mitchell, wanted to succeed from St. Vincent mainland, and it still stands. That declaration still stands. Nobody has not rejected. So, even though we want unity, we need to drop that declaration. We need to drop, I don't know if you all remember, even Union had a revolution to succeed from St. Vincent and the St. Vincent.
To secede, I think it's secede. Secede is the word.
So, yeah, well, that's the word. Sorry. All right. So, I mean, we in our own little cocoon, our little world here, we have your little battles, and it's time enough we kind of just dump some of them things because they're not moving us forward, they're just taking us back. We could come up if just like how we change the national flag and things like that, we could come up with a name. We could go back to the very old school, Urumi, Haruna, which means the whole thing. We don't have to go too far for changing name. We have names already. We have Urumi, we have Haruna. Haruna supposed to be called the land of the blessed. We like to say we are a Christian country, we're a blessed country, so Haruna is a good name. So we don't have to go too far. I don't know how it will go on the world market because there's a lot of things have to change. It's just like if I want to change my name here in America, I don't have to go change my driver's license. I have to change this, I have to change that, put the house name, this, that. Too many changes, so that's why people don't change it. It's costly. All right, so
that's just you with that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not a good thing.
All right, no problem, could you? All right, thank you. All right. We have what we have, right? I just probably just leave it at that. We have what we have. I know persons talk about the anthem being too long. I do know that sometimes it is difficult depending on a form that you're filling out of writing the full name of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But, even there's another thing that I noticed that a lot of people do, like when you're asked where you live or where you're from or which country you're from, and this is St. Vincent, it probably just takes another three more breaths just to say, and the grenadines. All right. I don't know why it is that persons think that, and this is why it always irritated me too. Like whenever I speak to somebody from within the region, when they don't address countries correctly, right? So it's Trinidad and Tobago. It is St. Kitts and Nevis. It's Antigua and Barbuda. So by extension, it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So we should be the ones to correct persons whenever they say, so where are you from? And you don't just tell them St. Vincent. We have the Grenadines as well, and I think this is why persons in the Grenadines also get annoyed with people from St. Vincent, right? Because of the fact that even sometimes in just stating where you're from, there is that exclusion of mentioning the Grenadines part of things. So, or the part of the country. So, yeah, we had to take a little bit of stock there. And I especially hate when I hear ministers of government just make reference to the plural country as St. Vincent. I think ministers of government in particular should know better. And I've heard it on several occasions when they just said St. Vincent, and I know that they were not making reference to, I can't say mainland anymore, but I know that they were not making reference to the largest island. Right?
So we must just say Vinci.
And that's true. I would sometimes say Vinci, and then, but some persons may not know what Vinci is. So, just to say it in full. But yeah, just little things for us to be mindful of and take a little bit of pride and national pride, even just in stating where we're from, that is also showing some national pride.
Right. So as we talk about national pride, tell me, Vinci people, what does it mean when we say crap or smoke your pipe? As the next one.
Things bad.
Forget. When we say crap or smoke your pipe.
All right, so that's Dianna with a trivia. So somebody could message
but
in.
I know you kind of don't get the answer.
Yeah, I kind of don't get the answer.
Things bad. Things real bad for you, boy. You ain't they good at all. So because Roleza answered that one, big up Roleza. She was able to respond for us. Okay, I see somebody say you on your own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, things bad, you're on your own. We'll take that as well. All right, come with the next one. Let's go into the topic and then I come with the next one.
All right, so we're going into this topic at this time, and it's something that I came across on social media, on Facebook, I think on the weekend. So I said that this would be good for us to do as general conversation. Why is this thing not showing me properly? But anyhow, why when you're reading things off the internet, so no. But anyhow. All right, so I came across an article that says UK dads are wrapping baby slings on male statues to push for more paternity leave. All right, so this is on NPR, and it is an article that says, I'm not going to read it in full because it's a bit lengthy, but just to give you a bit of an understanding of what it's about, right? So at London Paddington Station, a statue of renowned British civil engineer Isambard Kingdom Brunel sits shrewdly with a baby doll in his embrace, right? Near the city's Emirates Stadium, a replica of Arsenal legend Thierry Henry kneels in triumph with a toy doll securely fastened to his chest. In Leicester Square, an immortalized Gene Kelly strikes an iconic singing in the rain pose, but this time with a toy baby clinging onto him. Over the past week, men have been draping baby slings on famous male statues across London and Edinburgh to raise awareness of the UK's paternity leave policies and advocate for more paid time off for new fathers. We wanted to call attention to the roles that men have often played as fathers, said George Gabriel, the co-founder of The Dad Shift, a group of men and fathers centered around this cause and behind the Baby Sling campaign. So he's saying that our hope is that by highlighting the role that many folks are playing as dads and co-parents, we can begin to call attention to the social support that's needed to set them up for success. All right. Just to give some information, while Europe is home to some of the world's best paternity leave policies, the UK lags far behind many of the European neighbors, offering just 2 weeks of paternity leave. Right, and that compares with France, which offers a 28-day paid paternity leave, and Spain, which allows up to 16 weeks. All right. So they called for the attention of the current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. And one of the things that I thought it was interesting to highlight is that they were saying that we really admire the commitment you have in protecting family time with your family. And this is because Mr. Starmer, even during the campaign time, said that Friday evenings were reserved for him to spend time with his 2 children. All right. So they're saying that because even during the time of campaigning, he made a declaration that he is going to carve out time to spend with his children, that they have approached him because he would understand or be a bit more understanding, or he's already one of those persons who's involved in being a part of their child's life. So through this, they are advocating for him to take up the challenge of there being more paternity leave for fathers.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see. So,
all right. So as it currently stands here in SVG, to the best of my knowledge, is that there isn't legislatively any paid paternity leave, although there are private companies who do offer paternity leave to fathers. If some persons remember that this year, Sandals stated that as of May 1st, 2024, team members who become fathers to newborns and are full-time employees who have been with the company for at least 1 year will receive a 1-week paid paternity leave. In Antigua, as of this year, in June, the government of Antigua considered introducing paternity leave for new fathers as well. And this was also introduced in Jamaica last year, where fathers, let me see if I can get it information. Jamaican men will, as of last year, receive a period of up to 4 weeks, 4 weeks for paid paternity leave. All right. So I thought it is an interesting conversation for us to have, because recently a friend of mine, his wife gave birth, and I asked the question, well, he's involved in the government service, and I asked the question, so you're going to be on paternity leave? Because I honestly thought that we had paternity leave here, and he said no.
But as far as I know and I've read, we have, I mean, it's short, we have 3 days paternity leave. As far as I know, that
in the civil service,
yeah, 3 days. But I mean, it's just 3 days. But 3 days paternity leave, yeah. So, but then when I read Sandals giving them more paternity leave than, anyways. I think they deserve to get paternity. You see, you know what? I think that they deserve to get paternity leave, and it needs to be at least a week or more than a week, you know. But for paternity leave, I feel like they need to prove that they are the father of the child. That's my opinion. I think that for the men to get paternity leave, you must prove that you are the father of the child, and you have to be involved. So the lady must come sign something and say, yes, he's involved, because you can't just be taking paternity leave and you know nothing about this child. You never look on the child's face, but you just want to say you're a father to get the leave. I want you to get paternity leave, but I feel like they should be able to prove something.
All right. So I can understand where Dianna is coming from. In the Jamaican article, I'm trying to see if my eyes could just glance on it directly, but I think in the Jamaican context, it has to be, was it Jamaica? Have to be the husband, or they have to be the live-in partner of the lady who has given birth, right? I'm trying to see if it was in Jamaican article or in Antigua, but there has to be oh no, it's actually in Antigua. So in Antigua, according to cabinet spokesperson Lionel Hurst, eligibility for the leave would apply to a new father must either be married and live in with their wives, or maybe unmarried but nevertheless live with their girlfriend or common law wife and have a new baby.
Okay.
But I suppose it's interesting, because if you don't live with me but you are the father of this child, remember, well, I've never given birth, so I'm trying to draw more on Dianna for some knowledge here, because the thing of it is that if you've given birth to a child, unless you live in let's say an extended household, or let's say you live with your mother or somebody who's going to be there to be of support, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be a challenge. And not just it being a challenge, but this is the father of the child. And we talk about wanting for fathers to play a more active role in the child's lives or in the children's lives. And it starts from their birth.
Correct. Yes. I agree with you.
Right? Okay. So yeah. It means that they have to start playing an active role from very young. And for me, it has to start from inception. And even the thing of situations where let's say a woman has given birth naturally. She's given birth naturally or she's given birth via C-section. She is going to need that support.
Yeah, especially then, yeah.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. How are you? I just want to bring something to your attention. We have that arrangement for men to have the maternity leave in the police force, which is significant. So the lady, the police officer, could have that, and the woman police officer. I've been thinking that we need to see this thing across the board, even at the private sector level. But that could only come when people would have that authority to be able to tell their representatives what to do, but we don't have that in St. Vincent. We have to beg them. They do as you like. We have radio programs. We talk, and they don't listen. And this is why I'm even on radio. Me on radio becoming one nothing, because everybody wants something from a politician. I want us to be in a position. I see that young man in Grenada, and I'm seeing him talking across the board, empowering people to have a voice. Not to encourage people to block people out so that they don't support a dictatorship. We have to get our leaders. And that is why next election, I would not be supporting none of them, because I don't think that they really understand what is a democracy. And you guys do a good job, but you have to understand what is happening currently with Mr. Algonsav administration. Are they listening to you? Are they listening to us? Are they really concerned about women and men and about us and our livelihood? Are they concerned? Look, Brother Weeks, I was very happy to hear him say a while ago, is one of the first things that I could agree with him, that the people in the Grenadines, for example, you have to ask yourself, maybe they should have wanted to have a flag. Are they treating them in a way that they're part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? No, it doesn't happen that way. But for the situation with men and women, it should be across the board. I love I brought two children into this world, and I was just as they loving and caring, maybe even more than my wife. And this is the kind of thing we have to encourage in a democracy, in our society. And I'm only saying, hey, thank God for you all, that you all are saying the right thing. We hope now that those politicians, we have an election coming up, want our vote. Say, what are you going to do to help women? What are you going to do to help families? What are you going to do to help children? Do you know that when you victimize a person, that you're putting the children at risk? These very fundamental things that you all are doing here. That is why I'm on radio. Me and you're on radio for no fun,
Okay.
Okay. Love you all very much, and have yourself a safe day. God bless you all very much.
You as well. Thank you. All right. So I was indicating that there is paternity days given within the police force, which is good to hear. I know that I think I had only ever heard of it before, but it was in the private sector. So I'm not sure how many other private sector entities here actually have it instituted as well. But as I was saying, there are benefits to having fathers play an active role in the in the lives of their children from very young. All right. Not only is it just for them to be able to give support to the mothers who have just given birth. And again, I'm trying to lean on Dianna here for her insights, because it's not just about the physical aspect of things, but it's also mental. It does take a mental toll, right?
It does. For generally giving birth, you definitely need somebody to help you, because afterwards you're a bit sore. You have pregnancy affects your brain as well, so you never know what sort of I can't find the word I'm looking for at the moment, but whatever you're dealing with after pregnancy, you do need that support. Yes, issues. For women that have C-sections, now that one is extremely difficult. They definitely need support, once you've had a C-section, because you can't. It's a lot that they can't do. They definitely can't be walking around. Somebody who delivers naturally, will be able to hold their baby, walk around and hold their baby. But if you've had a C-section, that pain there that you're feeling, you definitely need help navigating things. So they need the support of the fathers. And I mean, we shouldn't even have to bring these points up to say they need the support of the father. It should be known. Obviously, as you've had your baby, you need support. We shouldn't have to be saying, we shouldn't have to be presenting evidence as to why the men would need paternity leave. I mean, the lawmakers and whoever, they're men, don't they have kids as well? They know how these things go. Yeah.
To the lawmakers, good morning to you. Special good morning to you. All right. But yeah, so when we talk about that whole situation too, as well, of bonding, so an interesting question is being asked: what about men in SVG and other Caribbean men who have more than one baby within a year or have visiting relationship? The thing of it is that if you are a father, you are a father, right? But I suppose this is where it's going to be tricky, in that so from an organization standpoint, they're going to have to, when a person takes paternity leave and a father takes paternity leave, you're going to have to account for how much time he would be out for, right? In terms of replacing this individual, let's say he has a specialized skill or specialized work within that particular place of employment, right? If he has more than one children within a year, how would you deal with that though?
You mean with the same person?
No, it won't be the same person.
Well, I feel that if they're gonna make the law, you're gonna give the men a certain amount of time for paternity leave. You have to put something in place to say you must. This is what Dianna saying. They should do it. The man must prove that he's the father of the child. He must prove that he is involved, that he's not just the father, but that he is involved. He's not just taking the time off to fly out and go and meet his side woman, right? So, he must prove that. So the woman would have to say something there. And as it relates to promiscuity, we don't want to promote the men going around just continuing to create broken homes. So something should be in place for that, saying, you can't have a certain amount within a year. A woman can only have one maternity leave a year.
Yeah, or maybe if there is a stipulation to be put in place where he's only allocated, let's say, 4 weeks within the year, right? So if he happens to get another woman pregnant or multiple women pregnant, he's used up the 4 already for the year, right? But you see, this entire conversation also goes back to like how I feel sometimes on Father's Day, where we're having this conversation because on one hand, we are looking at it in relation to the fathers who actually are husbands or solid boyfriends, right? So we're looking for it in that context of those who actually want to be a part of the initial development of their child's lives, or even to be able to assist their partners. But then we have to think about this other aspect of the men who just don't care. And this is how I tend to feel about Father's Day, where the good men sometimes aren't praised and recognized enough because of what happens with the other category of men.
True, very true.
Right? So when I'm looking at it in the context of paternity leave, even if somebody is just from a boyfriend standpoint and they're not living with their partner, if they're actively involved in their partner's life, let's say if they've been going to what you call those prenatal checks. They're going to see the ultrasound. They've been very hands-on. They've been buying baby pampers, etc., and all of those things beforehand. Even if they've not been living with their partner, they have played an active role in welcoming or being happy to have this child come into the world. So I really don't want, but me personally, yes, things have to be put in place to make sure that the system isn't abused, but I really am looking out for the best interest of that child who's coming into the world. Hi, Anita, morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
We're good. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, I know you don't have children, but listen, so let me ask Dianna. Dianna, and you can answer too. Dianna, is there a difference between father and daddy?
They say there is, they say a father is, anybody could be. No, they say anybody could be a daddy. A daddy is just anybody who, impregnates somebody, but a father is somebody who actually takes on the role and plays their part and does what they're supposed to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Yes, okay. So then, when you're gonna give leave, you have to know that you're giving a father and not only a daddy,
Yes, yes,
because a
yes.
stepfather can act like a daddy and also like a father
Yes,
too.
yes, that is
And
true.
then I agree with you that you must do a survey because you can't go give leave. Sometimes they're in the house too, they live there too and they still not there and they get the leave. And when you at nights and the baby crying and you tired, they still want you to cook food and wash and they hanging out playing domino while they are on leave.
Correct.
You feel me? Yes. Yes.
That is
I
it.
mean, the men might think I'm taking them to task, but it's reality. All right, ladies, you have a blessed day.
You
Okay,
as
bye
well,
bye.
thanks.
Bye. Well,
All right. It's that's Lord boy, man, how we really look at y'all in society, yeah? And these are the little things where we're trying to actually change to be able to change the perception of, because one of the things that I think I've appreciated with the generation of men my age who have become fathers is, even though they may not be with the girlfriends or the mother of their children, they still play an active role in their child's lives or the children's lives, right? So back when I grew up, some fathers just disappeared. You know who the fathers were, but they disappeared from the children's life. But I've noticed that with my generation, even if they're not romantically involved with the mother of the children anymore, it could happen directly after birth too, they still play an active role in their child's lives, so we're trying to, it's in little ways we're trying to maybe change the overall view or opinions that we have of some men within society, especially men who are fathers.
Yes.
And I think sometimes it starts in little ways like this.
True.
Right?
True. We don't want the men. We just say we things to y'all from time to time, and we give you the licks, and you're supposed to get the licks. But in a case like this, we really are advocating for you. We will advocate for you to get what you deserve to get, so you can continue to be the best father that you can be. Okay.
And also the best support system for the females, the female mother in their life, right?
They need it. They need it.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to jump out at this time and be back shortly with more activated mornings this morning.